Hello, good morning from where you're listening from. It's my hope and prayer God has kept you in good health and faith. Today I'll be talking on forgiveness and the essence of it. And to start off, allow me to tell you of a story of a young man who was blind from birth. The story is found in John 9. The man used to sit and beg, and because of his incapabilities, and as Jesus was passing by, he saw him, and the disciples asked him who had sinned between the man and the parents so as to sort the reason for him being blind from birth. But Jesus replied, neither the father nor the mother nor the man who's blind had sinned, but is so as the works of God will be displayed. He then proceeded to tell them of the difference between sight and vision, and this is important because you can have sight but lack vision, and also you can lack sight but have a vision. And he declares, that is Jesus, he is the light of the world, and thereafter he spits on the ground and makes mud out of saliva and puts it on the man's eye, then commands him to go wash in the pool of Siloam. And the man does as ordered and receives his sight. To many people's astonishment and disbeliefs, the news spread, and Pharisees summoned the man to try get the truth of the matter. And from the discussion, what clearly comes out is the Pharisees' lack of vision, in that even with the man's answers, they had already had their heart settled to condemn and judge him, calling him sinner from birth. Remember, these were teachers of the law, shepherds of God's flock. They even called the boy's parents due to misunderstanding with the boy, and the parents were afraid to testify about the miracle because they were afraid they will be barred from worshipping. And as they continue with the interrogation, at one point the man asks, do you want to become his disciples too? And and when the debate heated up and they threw him out, barred him from God's temple, and when Jesus heard about it and found him, he asked him, do you believe in the Son of Man? The man answers, who is he, sir? Tell me so that I may believe in him. And Jesus answers, you have now seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking with you. And the man believed and worshipped, then gave a teaching on spiritual blindness and judgment, and the Pharisees who were listening took it personal. But Jesus addresses it at the end of the chapter in verse 41, saying, if you were blind, you will not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains. This is a good message on forgiveness, my brothers. If you want to forgive, you should not be judgmental. That's God's work. Forgiveness is from the heart, and a heart that has judged will see fault rather than goodness. And there's a risk with that, because in the book of Matthew 7, 1 to 2, it says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way as you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. And in verse 3, as I continue, it says, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye, and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? Why? Jesus asks and says, now as I continue further in verses 4 and 5, how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. You see, Jesus clearly points out, remove the speck out of your eye first. You call others liars and thieves and prostitutes. Have you checked yourself? Are you perfect? Remember, you cannot be lying but you gossiping. Sin is sin. You may not be promiscuous, but you masturbate or lust over women. Sin is sin. Jesus himself, when teaching his disciples how to pray, says, forgive us, Father. He says, forgive us, Father, as we forgive those who wrong us. He puts it clearly. First you forgive, then ask God to forgive you. He himself, while at the cross, asked for the Father to forgive us so that he also will be forgiven, even though he knew he was pure with no sin. Let's follow that example. Forgive first. In one of his teaching on forgiveness found in the book of Matthew 5:23 to 24, he says, if you had come to the temple and remember you had wronged a brother, leave your gift at the altar, then go seek forgiveness, then come offer your sacrifice or petition. Forgiveness is a requirement, so ask for your prayer or petition to be listened. Forgiveness is not pointing fingers or finding fault finding. Regardless if you're on the right or the wrong, forgive. And allow me to read 1 Corinthians 13:13. Even as I conclude, it says, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And 1 John 4:20, it says, if anyone says, I love God, yet hates his brother, he is a liar. For anyone who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And verse 21, and he has given us this commandment: whoever loves God must, and I repeat, must love his brother. To love is to forgive. Thank you and God bless you as I hope you forgive and live in brotherly love.